Hi, my name's Steve from Statistics Fix, and in this video today I've been sent this original Xbox One by a friend of mine, Anthony. Now apparently this Xbox has an intermittent display problem. I think he said it works sometimes, it works others, and the HDMI port is very loose at the back. So he thinks it might need a replacement. Obviously I've just done one on a PS4, which was the first one I've ever done. And it went okay. So he's trusted me with this. So I thought, I've never opened an Xbox One before. It should be quite fun. So first thing I'm going to do is just hook it up to the TV and just see if I can replicate the problem. So I'm just going to switch it out for my Xbox. So there's my Xbox there. So I'm just going to swap them over, and then we'll see if we can replicate it. Okay, so it's come on. One I did notice when I was putting the HDMI plug in the back is that it was very loose. It was almost spongy putting the cable in. So it's definitely in. And it's definitely come on. There we go, it's gone off. Let's come back on. I think, yeah, I think I might just be able to repair this without replacing it. I'm guessing it's just loose on the board. So I'll yeah, it all seems to be displaying fine when it's in the right position. So I'll take it apart. Like I said, I've never taken one apart before, so please don't copy me. This is not a how-to video. This is me trying to fix somebody's Xbox. So it's not a how-to, but I'm going to try my best to fix it, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, we're all set up, so let's try and take this thing apart. There's quite a bit of dust inside it, which I'll obviously clean out before I put it all back together. There we go. So I think there's a ribbon, well there will be a ribbon connector, there it is. Oh well, that's awkward to get to. I don't know whether you can see that, there's just a little ribbon connector here. It's got, looks like a blue thing that hooks over, yeah okay, and then just, there we go. And we're in. And I didn't break it. Yet. I'm just going to disconnect the, well, I assume it's the speaker, and then the Wi-Fi connector just pops off there, hopefully. Okay, we've got a little connector here, which is for the Wi-Fi card to the board. And there we go. Yeah, it's awfully dusty inside here. Is that supposed to just wobble around? Oh, it's because I've undone the screws, so that's okay. Right, so the HDMI port is there. So if I just take this, I heard something rattle then. Was it just the hard drive? Let's take it out. I can definitely hear something rattling inside there. Hear that? Ah! And it is that. What is that? Can you see that? Do you know what that looks like? It looks like off a watch strap. Which is odd. You know the thing that holds the watch strap to the main body of the watch? I don't know whether that's been shoved in somewhere it shouldn't have been, or whether it is actually part of the inside of this, but it certainly looks like something off a watch strap to me. Right, can we take this out of the plastic? Yes. Okay, let's have a close look at this HDMI port. And again, at first glance, it looks fine. I'm just going to get a HDMI plug just to put in it, and we'll just see why it's so loose. I've got my HDMI terminal plug. There's a lot of play in it. I don't think there should be. Yeah, it sort of wiggles all around the shop. All around the shop, that's the technical term for it. Right, got my multimeter set to continuity. Let's check these pins are outputting correctly. So, five, 4, 3, 2, not again, oh, 1. I thought that's exactly what I had on the PlayStation, it was pin 1. But yeah, they're all outputting fine. So I'm wondering whether it's just the HDMI plug when it goes in, because there's so much movement in there, that if it's not at the right angle, it's just not making a connection. You know, it's not grabbing the HDMI plug. I wonder whether just this metal casing, you know, around here, I wonder whether that is just a little bit bent out of shape, so it's just not grabbing the HDMI plug as it should do. Just to double check, I'm going to put this under the microscope, just have a very close look at it, just to see, you know, if there's any broken solder joints on it. Okay, so I've got the HDMI port under the microscope here. I'm just looking at these pins here. Just gonna make sure that everything is nicely there's a bit of what's that? A bit of fluff. Everything seems solid. I can't see any obvious breaks. No, that all looks good. Let's just check the solder joints. So we've got, you know, for the legs. Are they called legs? I don't know. Can't get to that one. There we go. That seems pretty solid on that side. And then this side. Yep. Just going to plug the HDMI port in and just give it a wiggle and see if any of these. There you can see there the port itself. Look how much wiggle room there is. And I'm wondering whether if this, you know, maybe this has been dropped with a HDMI plug in and someone's held onto the plug and it's, you know, it's sort of bent this a bit out of shape. Because if you look at the other one, so this is the HDMI in, put the cable and there's hardly any wiggle room there. There's a little bit, but it's a much tighter fit. Yeah, it's really difficult to pull the HDMI plug out. So, I mean, what I could do is swap those two over. The HDMI in, presume, isn't used as much as the HDMI out. But I don't want to do that if I don't have to. First thing I'm going to do is just give this area a good clean, and then I'll see. I don't know, I'll see if I can maybe have a look on the other side of this HDMI port and see if anything looks bent out of shape. You know, the more I think about this, the more I'm wondering whether, you know, it just needs pushing down on the top here, just to make the fit a little bit nice. You know, just gently. It doesn't look like it's massively out of shape, but there's too much wiggle room there. But I suppose even a couple of millimeters would make a big difference. I mean, I don't want to swap it out if there's nothing wrong with it. It's in there solid. It's not going anywhere. It's not like it's wobbling around on the board. There's no movement on the board. The only movement is from the port on the other side. It does look a little tiny bit bent there, but not enough. here. So if you look at these, the bottom of this port here, it looks like the left hand side is slightly higher than the right. There you go. Is that enough to make the HDMI port wobble around though? I don't know. That looks nice and level now. Yeah. Okay, let me try just sticking a HDMI plug in it now. Let's just use this one. Right, so I've just got the HDMI plug here, and then it feels a lot tighter. Yeah, there's definitely not as much. I mean, there is still a little bit. Let's just try this one, but it's no different to that one. In fact, I'm just going to go and check on my Xbox just to see if it's the same, because if it is, I think that might just be it. Right, I've just checked on my Xbox and it's exactly the same. You know, there is a slight bit of movement, so it must be normal. So I'm wondering now whether maybe it was just a little bit loose, or maybe this thing that was rattling around inside it, this watch, this piece of a watch strap, was shorting against, you know, some of the pins intermittently. Maybe it was rattling around in there, or maybe it was lying on it. I don't know, because I don't know where it came from, but it was definitely inside it. So I think I'm just going to put this back together. In fact, do I have to? I'll put it partially back together, and then I'll test it. I'll test it with a couple of different HDMI leads, and we'll see what it does. Right, so I've got the Xbox partially back together. Just put it back into my media unit. So I'm just going to see if I can switch it off without the front plate on. I think if I put the controller in, should be able to power it on with the controller. There we go. Let's see if we get anything coming up on the TV. There we go. I'm just going to give the HDMI port at the back a bit of a wiggle and just see if it stays on. Yep. Yep, it's staying on. Do you know what? I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think I can put that back together. So we're all back together now. I'll just give it another test and just make sure that everything's working as it should be. Right, we're all set back up again. So I'm just going to try and turn it on with the controller. There we go. That sort of seems to be working fine. Just going to check that the Wi-Fi works, because obviously the card was a little bit tight when I was taking it apart. Went back in fine, but yeah, that all works fine. So it's bit of a strange one, really. I'm not sure whether it was the bit of the watch strap that was loose inside that was perhaps shorting out on a couple of points where it shouldn't have been. But the fact that it was intermittent would mean that that would have to be rolling around. But I don't know, maybe it was just in an awkward position. The HDMI port was loose. I have, I've been able to make that a little bit of a tighter fit. There is some natural play in it, but then there is on mine. So I think it's actually, it must be designed that way. I haven't used mine very much, and it's it's pretty much exactly the same. So I'm gonna give this back to Anthony. I'm gonna say it's fixed. I'm gonna let him have a play with it. It's possible his HDMI lead isn't as well constructed as mine. I don't know. I've tried two, and it works with both of them. So I'm gonna let him have a play around with it. If the HDMI port does need replacing, then I will do it. I'm happy to do it. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that I didn't have to, but I don't want to do it unnecessarily, because what's the point in that? If it works, then let's just leave it. So in the end, yeah, it was. I've as far as I'm concerned, it's working fine. So it's a fix. So yeah, that's it. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more Can I Fix It and how-to videos. Thank you. Take care.